Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going to be looking at digital storytelling.
Ooh, fun.
This is something I don't think we've ever really looked at before.
No, not in any of our deep dives.
And we actually have a syllabus from a University of Houston MOOC
Oh, wow.
that is all about creating digital stories.
Okay.
And I am excited to dive in.
You too.
I think this is going to be a good one.
It is. Digital storytelling is really fascinating because it's like this
Yeah.
hidden superpower, It blends storytelling with
Yeah.
all the cool stuff you can do with technology.
Absolutely.
And it's an amazing tool, especially when it comes to learning.
So let's set the stage here a little bit for our listener.
Okay.
What exactly is digital storytelling?
Right.
I mean, the syllabus jumps right in.
Yeah.
It's got video titles like Welcome Video,
Uh-huh.
Introduction to Digital Storytelling,
Okay.
and Digital Storytelling in the Classroom.
Right off the bat.
So what's that telling us?
I think it's telling us that it's much more than just, throwing together a video with some fancy music and effects.
Right.
This seems like it's a real process.
Yeah.
It's a deliberate process, and they're framing it as a tool for education.
So it's not just about the digital, it's about the story itself.
Yes.
And how can we use that to teach or to explain something?
Exactly. And they really focus on the educational ideas and objectives as key parts of a digital story.
Okay.
So baking a cake, you wouldn't just jump in without knowing what kind of cake you're making.
Of course.
So defining your purpose,
Right.
what you want your audience to learn or experience, that's that crucial first step.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
It really paints a picture
Mm-hmm.
for our listener about why purpose is so important.
Absolutely.
And speaking of audience,
Yes,
this syllabus goes into that right away.
that's true. It does.
Like before even talking about choosing a topic.
Yeah. Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
Hmm.
What do you think?
Well, I think it shows that these digital stories are really tailored experiences.
Okay.
If you're trying to explain something complex to a 5-year-old
Right.
versus a college student,
Right.
your approach would be very different.
Totally.
The language you use,
Everything.
everything would be different.
Yeah.
So I think that that's what they're getting at here.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Knowing your audience really helps you shape that story
Absolutely.
in a way that will connect with them,
Yeah,
which is what we're doing right now.
exactly.
We're crafting this
Yeah.
for our listener.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'm curious about the actual process
Yeah.
of creating these digital stories.
Okay.
The syllabus has a video called Digital Storytelling Process.
Uh-huh.
Is it rigid? Like, is it step 1, step 2, step 3? Or is there some wiggle room?
There's always wiggle room for creativity,
Okay.
but it definitely suggests that there is a structure,
Okay.
which makes sense.
Yeah.
But here's the interesting thing. They also encourage people to look at examples of other digital stories.
Interesting.
It's kind of like saying, here's the recipe,
Yeah.
but look at what other chefs have made.
I like that.
You can get inspiration from that.
Yeah, like learning to cook.
Exactly.
You need the recipe,
Mm-hmm.
but you also need that inspiration
You got it.
to see what's possible.
Absolutely.
So we've got the process.
Yeah.
We understand purpose and audience.
Right.
What's next?
Well, the syllabus lays out all these really interesting categories of digital stories, like
Yeah.
kind of giving us a glimpse into all the different things you could do with it. It's almost like a teaser trailer.
Yes. Robbins Market, stress and education, kinder transport.
Yeah.
I mean, those are already sparking my curiosity.
They're good. And there's more.
Well, there's more?
Yeah. A day without math, adapting to a new culture,
Okay.
and the idea maker evolution.
Wow.
It's like each one is hinting at
Yeah.
a really unique story.
Okay, I got to ask,
Okay.
which one jumps out at you?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
For me, it's a day without math.
Okay.
Maybe it's the math geek in me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm so curious how you would even approach that
Yeah.
in a digital story.
Right.
It makes you think about how much we really rely on math,
It does.
even if we don't realize it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Okay, your turn.
For me, I think I'm drawn to the idea maker evolution.
Okay.
I'm just fascinated by where ideas come from
Yeah.
and how they develop.
Mhm.
I think that would be really cool to see.
It's like seeing behind the curtain
Exactly.
of creativity.
Uh-huh.
I love it.
And the best part is
Okay.
they give us this link
Okay.
to a website called Educational Uses of Digital Storytelling,
Oh, cool.
which has even more examples.
Oh, wow.
So that's something that, our listener can explore too.
Awesome. So we've got a solid foundation now.
Yes.
We understand digital storytelling is a process
Yep.
with a purpose. Right.
crafted for a specific audience.
Yes.
We've gotten a little sneak peek at all these different topics.
The possibilities are endless.
What's next?
Well, I think now that we have the lay of the land,
Yeah.
it's time to really dig into the process itself.
Okay.
Let's unpack those steps
Right.
and see what it really takes
Let's do it.
to create one of these narratives.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Okay.
So we've established that digital storytelling is more than just,
right.
flashy visuals.
Yeah.
It's a real process with a powerful message.
Right. Yeah.
So now let's unpack that digital storytelling process video from the syllabus and see how those stories actually take shape.
Okay. I'm ready to get into the nuts and bolts here.
Okay.
What's step one?
Right.
I mean, is it as simple as like, I have an idea, let's go?
Well, having the idea is definitely the spark.
Right.
But the syllabus really emphasizes that it can't just be any idea.
Okay. Remember how much we talked about purpose and audience?
Right. Like knowing what kind of cake you're making.
Exactly. So step one is really about finding that idea
that
aligns with both your purpose and your intended audience.
Okay.
So for example, if your purpose is to teach kids about environmental conservation and your audience is elementary school students,
right,
your idea needs to be something that's both educational and engaging for that age group.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, you've got your idea. What's next?
Okay.
You just jump right into filming.
Not quite.
Okay.
The next step is all about really fleshing out your story.
Okay.
Like, what's the narrative arc?
Right.
Who are the characters? What's that emotional journey that you want to take your audience on?
So, like brainstorming the plot?
Yes.
The key elements?
Exactly.
That'll bring your story to life.
Yes.
This takes a lot of creativity, I imagine.
It does. It does. And, as you're developing your story, you'll also want to start thinking about your media.
Okay.
What kinds of images or video clips, music, or even sound effects will really help you tell that story.
So this is where the digital part really comes into play.
Yes, this is where it starts coming together.
You're gathering those building blocks.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
But one thing that the syllabus emphasizes is that the technology should serve the story, not the other way around.
So don't get caught up in all the bells and whistles.
Yeah, don't lose sight of the heart of your narrative.
That's good advice because it's easy to get distracted by all the new shiny tools and stuff.
It is.
But ultimately, it's the story that matters.
The story is king.
Okay, so we've got our story. We've gathered our media. What's next?
Now it's time to start putting it all together.
Okay.
This is that editing stage
where
you sequence your images, add your audio, and really kind of refine that pacing of your story.
I imagine that takes both some technical skills
It does.
and an artistic vision
It does.
to bring it all together.
It does. And they emphasize the importance of storyboarding.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of like creating a visual roadmap for your story.
Oh, that sounds really helpful.
Before you even touch the tech tools.
Yeah, like a blueprint for your digital creation.
Exactly.
Oh.
And it really helps you visualize that flow and make sure all those pieces are working together.
Right.
But even with a storyboard, you'll likely find yourself experimenting, tweaking things as you go.
Right.
There's no one right way to do this.
That's encouraging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like there's a lot of room for creativity.
There is. There is.
And personalization.
Yes.
Okay.
So once you have a rough cut of your story,
Yeah.
it's time for feedback.
Okay.
Share it with others. See what they think.
Yeah.
Do they understand your message? Is the story engaging?
Yeah.
Are there parts that need clarification? Feedback is so crucial.
It is. It is.
Yeah, it's like having a fresh set of eyes
Exactly.
on your work.
Yes.
But I imagine it can be a little nerve-wracking, too,
Oh, absolutely.
to share something.
Especially in those early stages.
Yeah, especially when it's not quite done.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's an essential part of the process.
Yeah.
Because you're making this for an audience.
Right.
So their input is really valuable.
Absolutely.
And based on that feedback, you can go back, make revisions.
Yeah.
Fine-tune your story until you're happy with it.
It's an iterative process.
It is.
You're constantly refining and improving.
Exactly.
Okay. And then finally, the moment of truth.
Yes.
Sharing your digital story with the world.
That's right.
Upload it online, embed it on your website, showcase it.
Exactly.
This is where all that hard work pays off.
Yeah, this is where it all comes together. And, even after you've shared it, it doesn't have to be the end. You can always go back and make updates or add new information or even create a whole new version.
So it's like a living, breathing creation.
Yes. It can evolve,
just
like our understanding of the world around us.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a good grasp of the steps involved.
Yeah.
From idea generation all the way to sharing it. What about the tools and technology?
Yeah.
Does the syllabus offer any guidance there?
You know, they don't go into specific software recommendations, but they reiterate that the technology should serve the story, not the other way around. And there are so many options available today, from free online platforms to professional editing software. So it's really about finding what fits your needs and your budget.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not about having the fanciest equipment or anything. It's about using the tools that you have.
Exactly.
To tell your story.
To tell your story effectively.
Right. And don't forget, experimentation is key.
Yes. Definitely try different things.
Yeah.
See what works best for you.
It's like being a chef in a kitchen.
Yeah.
You got all these ingredients and tools.
Yeah, you can try different things.
You can combine things in different ways.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And, you know, we've covered the process. We've touched on technology. We know the importance of purpose and audience. Is there anything else that they highlight as we embark on our digital storytelling adventures?
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, what is it?
Well, one last nugget of wisdom.
Okay.
And I think it's especially relevant for our listener, is that, you know, digital storytelling isn't just about creating this finished product. It's also about the learning and growth that happens along the way.
Ooh, I like that it's the journey.
It is.
Not just the destination.
Exactly. Embrace those challenges. Learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
And most importantly, have fun with it.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
So we've got our process down. We're ready to experiment. And we're embracing the journey.
Yes.
What's next?
Well, now that we have a handle on the how, it's time to delve into the what. Remember all those captivating examples from the syllabus?
Yes.
Let's explore those in more detail and see what kind of inspiration we can glean for our listener.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Let's jump into those examples. All right. Welcome back to our digital storytelling deep dive.
Yeah, here we are.
We've explored the how-to, talked about the importance of purpose and audience.
Right.
And now for the fun part.
Yes.
We're going to be diving into those examples.
Yeah, those little sparks of inspiration.
From the syllabus,
exactly.
Robbins Market, Stress and Education, Kinder Transport.
Oh, and don't forget.
Oh, yeah, there's more.
A Day Without Math, Adapting to a New Culture.
Yes.
And the Idea Maker Evolution.
So many good ones. I'm already buzzing with ideas.
It's like each one is a little seed.
Right.
Just waiting to be watered.
With our imagination.
I know. And what's really cool here is just how diverse these examples are.
Yeah, you're right.
You've got everything from, you know, like a market.
Right.
To something as complex as adapting to a new culture.
Yeah.
It really shows you all the different things you can do with digital storytelling.
It does. And it makes me think back to something we talked about earlier.
What's that?
Knowing your audience.
Right.
I mean, imagine the difference between a story about Robbins Market, if you're telling it to children, versus adults.
Totally different.
I mean, the tone, the visuals.
Everything would be different.
Your whole approach.
Right. And it shows how important it is to really tailor that story.
Absolutely. Okay. All right.
So remember how we each picked one of the titles that stood out to us?
I do.
Okay. So remind me.
I'm still loving the Idea Maker Evolution.
Okay. I just think it'd be so fascinating to explore like that journey of creativity.
Right from that initial...
From the spark.
Spark to the fully formed idea.
Yes, and the visuals you could use. Yeah. The music, the sound effects.
Oh, yeah. It'd be like...
It'd be amazing.
A symphony of innovation.
I love it.
Okay. I'm still stuck on A Day Without Math.
Yeah.
I keep picturing a world where, like, numbers vanish.
Oh, wow.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, no clocks.
Oh, my gosh.
No measurements. No money.
That would be chaotic.
It would be chaotic, but I think it'd be a really powerful way to show people how much we rely on math.
I agree.
You know?
You're taking this abstract concept and making it into this tangible experience.
Exactly.
Through storytelling.
That's the beauty of digital storytelling.
It is.
It gives you these tools to bring any idea to life.
You got it.
No matter how complex or how simple.
I love it.
And you know what?
What?
The syllabus is just the tip of the iceberg.
That's true.
It points us to that educational uses of digital storytelling website.
Yes, a treasure trove of information.
Which has even more examples and inspiration.
It's a digital playground for storytellers.
I love it.
Yes.
And that actually brings us to a key question for our listener.
All right.
The syllabus actually asks participants to share digital stories they think could be used for educational purposes.
Okay.
So we're going to turn that question over to you.
All right, listener.
What story, event, or concept would you like to see transformed into a digital learning experience?
What would make it engaging and effective?
What message do you want to convey?
Yeah.
Think about the impact.
What kind of impact do you want to have?
On your audience.
On your audience.
So many possibilities.
We've given you the tools, the inspiration, and the encouragement.
We believe in you.
Now it's your turn.
Go forth and create. To take the reins and create something amazing.
Yes. Don't be afraid to experiment.
Don't be afraid to experiment.
To push boundaries.
Push those boundaries.
And to tell your story.
Tell your story.
Thank you for joining us on this digital storytelling deep dive.
Yeah.
We hope you learned some new things and feel inspired to create your own digital stories.
Remember the power to educate.
To inspire.
To inspire and to connect.
It's in your hands.
It's in your hands.